Hello and welcome to Fresh Face One Shots. My name is Joey.
And I'm Jacob.
And today we are back with Batman from the DC Vault, Death in the Family, Robin Lives. I hate saying all of that. This is issue 3 of Death in the Family, Robin Lives. First off, cover. That's just a really satisfying cover for some reason. I can't quite explain it. It's just really nice. So there's that, I guess. But yeah,
we're back. Very blue. It's very blue, and we're doing a... This is the shit is hitting the fan. Because we're fully establishing who kills the Joker.
Yeah,
the opening pages of this.
Yeah, jumping right in. Yeah, the issue literally opens on finally revealing who will eventually kill the Joker, and saying pretty definitively it will be Jason Todd. And I love the little glimpse of this scene that we get, and I love the slowness with which DeMatteis writes the rewind of time, going back from seeing those first 2 pages and going back from that point and seeing Jason and Joker, and going back even further from that point. I really love it. I think it's really cool. It's really great.
And once again, I think every issue's had basically a different narrator.
No, the narrator has always been Dr. Dev, right?
Right. Oh, right. It's always been Dr. Dev.
Yeah.
This one, this one is fascinating because it's all for events she isn't there for.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Which is what's been cool about her narration the whole time, I think. And it's more her analyzing Bruce and Jason from afar, which I really love. However, we should just get a much closer look at it here, where we take the time to start analyzing Bruce Wayne from a psychiatrist's perspective, who's someone who is in on Bruce Wayne's entire life. And he explains the whole parent death thing, and we get a little flashback here. And we get him just literally pondering his existence as Batman, which I really love seeing, and I think DeMatteis handles really, really well. It's just really great stuff. We do also get, and I really love this, DeMatteis, in an almost Tom King-like way, just reaching into the bag of obscure Batman villains and seeing what we pull out, because what is this character's name again? Mother Grimm. Holy shit.
I really should have looked up who this character was, because
I don't think you need it. You get everything you need to know. What an absolutely insane scene of this character possessing in multiple ways, I suppose.
Brainwashing.
Yeah,
sort of
these children, and seeing Batman take her on.
It's obviously meant to parallel what Bruce did to Dick and Jason.
I would say actually it's more a direct parallel of Bruce himself, because what we sort of learn about this character, or maybe already knew if you knew who this character was before this, is that Mother Grimm is a personality that Alice Travers created after a traumatic event in her life. And we see that Mother Grimm looks like an old lady, but we see in this one panel it's a full on headpiece, mask, full helmet thing coming off of her. That there is just a totally separate person underneath. I would say actually it's more meant to represent Bruce, right down to surrounding her with children. And by the end of this little segment of the story here,
children who she has brainwashed into loving her,
who even after these sort of headband brainwashing things are removed from them, are still devoted to her, which is this kind of horrifying idea. And the way that Batman looks back at them as this happens is just really, really well done. I love that.
I also think it's particularly interesting Bruce's mental state in this issue, because people are trying to get through to him, and they can't. Immediately after this encounter with Mother Grimm, there is this pondering with Alfred, asking asking, what Alfred thinks of, the fact that Bruce raised 2 children to be superhero sidekicks. And Alfred kind of gets it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it feels like there's this delineation between Bruce and everybody else. Bruce is stuck in loner Batman mode. Everyone else is late 80s, early 90s, cusp of making the Bat Family mode.
Yeah, definitely. Right down to Alfred literally having a line here about saying like they're your sons, your brothers and sisters. When he's talking, he's not just talking about Robin and Nightwing here. It's the Justice League. Alfred even calls out the Outsiders, which I kind of love. I love that the Outsiders get a mention,
which was a very big book in the late 80s and early 90s because Batman sells.
Yeah, Batman sells. I also actually have a fair few issues of Batman the Outsiders, but Batman eventually leaves Alfred and has a run-in with Nightwing, who wants to continue his conversation with Bruce from the other day, and Bruce just kind of is just at this point outright rejecting what Dick is trying to tell him, because Dick is like, no, he's trying to elaborate on his point, he's like, yeah, I would. There are times when I would absolutely trade in, the life that I was dealt for, more time with my parents. But he's still thankful for Bruce, for being who he is, for being Robin at a time, with Bruce. I really love that, and Bruce is still struggling with accepting that message, I think is what's important here. Just really great stuff. We then also find out that Jason has gone
on his own to find the Joker,
mm-hmm.
to literally face his trauma, and I love how limited Jason's dialogue is when he actually faces the Joker.
Oh yeah, because first off, he comes across these sort of policemen animatronic things that he fights off, and then he says literally nothing in these whole last couple pages here when he's face to face with the Joker, who you see Jason get literally paralyzed in front of Joker, who just knocks him out, and we end up this. I swear it could be funny, but it's written in such a way that just makes me incredibly sad. This final page here where Joker has dressed up Jason as Jokey the boy lackey. Just, I don't know, there's something just really disturbing about it. I think it really works. It teeters on being so weird that it's almost ridiculous and funny in a weird way, but it's not. It is just sad. It's really,
framed.
Really sad.
It's framed to be played incredibly seriously, which is interesting. I think there's something interesting about the Joker's motivation in this issue in particular. At the top, DeMatteis has the Joker watching a silent film called Safety Last, and going on about how silent film actor Harry Lloyd is kind of forgotten, which he has a point. I don't think many people, your average person, is going to know who Harry Lloyd is. Though I'd also argue your average person may not know who Buster Keaton or Charlie Chaplin is.
I think people know who Chaplin is, at least.
Chaplin, yeah.
You're stretching a bit more with Buster Keaton, but there's a genuine point to be made there. And so a lot of the Joker's point here becomes about continuing his legacy somehow, and by
not wanting to be forgotten. And
which, by the way, it makes me think you really need to continue the Arkham games, Jacob. Please, just please. Anyway, but to the point where Joker creates his own sidekick at the end here, and that is what he turns Jason into. It's really messed up, but I really love it. I think DeMatteis once again is just the perfect writer to be taking on this miniseries.
Of course, Rick Leonardi on art is
fantastic,
and Once again, God, I'm trying to read the name of the colors, but it's so tiny on my screen.
I think I got this. Hang on one second. I can do this. Vamp.
Vamping.
This is how these videos work, right? We vamp a lot. No, colorist. You said Rico Renzi.
Yeah, Rico Renzi, just fantastic. Like,
yeah.
This, I'm a little worried that this could somehow drop the ball in issue 4.
I mean, to be fair, even if it does, which I doubt it will, even if it does, I think these first 3 issues have been fucking stellar.
Oh, they've been great.
I could so easily recommend them to anyone. Honestly, I would almost make this like just essential DC Elseworlds reading. Like, I don't know, in a world where with the world we live in, where we were so robbed of so many times where we could have had more Jason Todd Robin, and had him be just so much more of a character outside of the one that died. I think we really need this story. I think it's just such an important story to be giving Jason, not just from an Elseworlds perspective, but just from a DC Comics publishing perspective in general. I think it's just really important to have, and I need more people to read this. I really, really do. So,
yeah. I also just hope that we don't. I hope that we don't betray the title and have Robin die. Like,
he won't.
He won't. Like, I'm just like, don't kill Jason again.
Yeah, the twist here is that Joker dies, and I think we'll have some interesting things to say about Jason going forward, which is kind of the message that I'm pretty sure I talked about it in our first issue discussion. That the message is essentially the worst fate is Jason living with that trauma. I think that's at least what David Hayes has been saying so far. You know, like it is. We kind of got the good timeline in a weird way. I don't know. I love the way that it's being tackled.
I don't know if we necessarily got the good timeline. I don't think they would have I think it would have taken way too long to actually deal with Jason's trauma.
Yeah. If it had actually happened, if Jason had actually lived at the time, we would not be going to this level. But, you know, if we're properly... I'm trying to say this politely. If we're properly examining these characters as real people, like we would today, then yeah, this is what would happen. And Jason, in a weird way, got the better fate by being spared that trauma. But then, of course, you know, there is the Red Hood. But a topic for I would say another day, but we kind of had that conversation already on Fresh Face Comics. But anyway, entirely beside the point. That about does it. Check out other Fresh Face one-shots that we do. We cover Superman by Joshua Williamson, Wonder Woman by Tom King, Batman the Brave and the Bold by Various, of course, this mini-series as well. The Summer DC event of 2024, Absolute Power, which is coming to a close in the fall, so... call that a summer event, I suppose. As well as later this month, we're starting up our coverage of Batman The Last Halloween, which is the supposed end of the Long Halloween saga, as a tribute to Tim Sale, which I think is awesome. We also have, we cover Uncanny X-Men by Gail Simone, which we just put out our second video on the second issue. It came out yesterday. I also started up a thing recently called Fresh Face Solos, where I talk about things myself, things that I'm reading on my own without Jacob. Mainly for now, catching up and covering Jen McKay's X-Men to sort of work in tandem with our Uncanny X-Men coverage. Also, of course, check out the main podcast. We just recently released an episode on the second leg of Tom King's Batman with I Am Bane, the Button, the proposal issue, as well as the War of Jokes and Riddles. A lot of cool things in there, as well as coming up soon we have more episodes on The Flash. It's Flash Fall, and it's going to be fun. We have a lot of Flash episodes coming up, so I'm very excited for those, because Flash is a character I think we've been kind of neglecting on the podcast for a long time, so I wanted to give him some extra time, so... Yeah. Otherwise, our link trees, our socials, and everything will be linked in the description below. You can follow us wherever you want to follow us, as well as subscribe to the channel, Blood Donut Studios, and check out other things we do on here as well. But I think that about does it. So thank you all so much for watching. Until next time, this has been Joey Morgan
and Jacob Licklider.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.